All right, we're live. We're live on a Friday. Why on a Friday? Well, two specific reasons. One, I'm testing, but more specifically, this could not wait till Monday. I'm probably going to do this again next week, but this could not wait. So it'll be interesting to see on a Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time who's around. And of course, you can always watch this on demand. Whether it's LinkedIn or Twitter, there's a YouTube channel, The State of MedTech. You can also check it out there. But interesting news, not surprising news, very sad news, I would say. But I wanted to get on and talk about that. But yeah, let me give it a little bit. See, I always have to confirm online. Are we live on? Yep. Man, there's a lot more people. Can we get in the chat? Where are you guys calling in from? There's 36 people. This is the most I've had in the whole week. Well, not the whole week actually. The live stream on Wednesday was actually pretty big. Where's everybody coming in from? Can you leave a note in the comments? Leave a chat. What city are you guys coming in from? All right, I want to see it. Cabo. All right, Cabo. Where else everybody coming in from? All right, come on, everybody. Don't be shy. Why are salespeople shy when it comes to the online stuff? I think maybe it's because it's new. All right. There we go. Joel Thomas, Charlotte, North Carolina. What's up, Joel? Ashish from Canada. Hello up north. Fresno, California. David. All right. Welcome, welcome. And I did this last time, but we'll see. I might bring somebody on live. Belinda, Colorado. Thank you so much. Great. Fantastic. So, and let me, my text is blowing up. Let me close my text. Florida from Elizabeth, Portland from Jeff, NYC, Darren, Eugene from Detroit. All right. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Welcome. Orlando, Florida. Great. So let's talk about what's going on in the news. So here's what's going on. And I don't mean to smile. I'm only smiling because the writing was on the wall. Okay. And actually, we're going to do this like a news segment. Let's do a little screen sharing, and I'm going to read this article to you real quick, just a few highlights. Okay. So let me see. Let me just make sure that we are in fact. Okay. So here's this article. Exclusive. Pfizer to cut U.S. sales staff as meetings with healthcare providers move to virtual. And some salespeople might look into this and say, "Oh, it's just because of lockdowns. They're cutting it for now." Nope. No, they are not. Let me show you. Let me zoom in here. Okay. So let's read this. All right. Pfizer said it's reducing its U.S. sales staff and expects doctors and other healthcare providers to want fewer face-to-face interactions with salespeople after COVID-19 pandemic ends. I'm sorry. I don't mean, I'm not Nostradamus. I don't mean to come off the wrong way here. Did I not tell you guys that this was coming? And this is Pfizer. You don't think this is happening with J&J and Medtronic and other places, right? And again, let me I want to point this out specifically. This is just specifically for the salespeople. The move comes as the company is expected to announce more than $80 billion in revenue in 2021 on strong sales of the COVID-19 vaccine it developed. Let me repeat that again. $80 billion in revenue. Pfizer last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year their projections for revenue was like $24 billion in 2021. They raised that to $30 billion. I don't know what they ended the year at, somewhere higher than that. Now it's $80 billion strong, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's $80 billion in revenue in 2021. Okay, so they, of any company, can afford to figure out what are we going to do with salespeople. Nope. It was like, oh, physicians don't like face-to-face interactions anymore. Thanks, sales staff. We just had this amazing year, but have fun. Best of luck. And what I love, and again, no offense to Pfizer. I'm sure they do mean this. They had a quote somewhere in here about about, helping people with layoffs. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, we're evolving it. So here's what one of their what the company said: we're evolving into a more focused and innovative biopharma company. Okay, and evolving the way we engage with healthcare professionals in an increasingly digital world. There will be some changes to our workforce to ensure we have the right expertise and resources in place to meet our evolving needs. What does that translate? That translates to, well, we're doing these layoffs, but also we're going to keep the people who actually know how to do this, aka engage with physicians digitally. And I only bring this up, and the frustration in my voice, one, comes for the salespeople, because these salespeople, they're under the pressure of quota. They go on the road, away from their families, away from their friends. It's hard to eat while on the road, etc., to sell. And then you have a record year and they're just screwed at the end, right? But at the same time, my frustration comes from, I've been talking about this for 5 years now, 6 years plus. I wrote an article about this called The Death of Medical Scales 2 years ago in November 2020. I updated that article and published it again last week. And then this news comes out. And yet I still have sales executives who want to, and they're so, it's good that I'm actually a rational person. I don't dox anybody or call anybody out. But instead of publicly debating me about this, they want to send me private messages. Oh, Omar, you're being overreactive. And no, face-to-face is going to be important. I know it's digital right now, but no. Doctors and hospitals just went a whole year without seeing your face. You think they're going to open up and say, yeah, come back? So this is ridiculous. And more importantly, let me come back now. Why am I bringing this all up, right? The point that I'm bringing this up is a couple things. Number one, forget about Pfizer for a side. This is not about Pfizer. Pharma is not my world. I help them. I work within those conferences and everything. But I'm going to talk just to the med device people. Number one, ask yourself this. Did quota just go up? Actually, I want to see it in the chat. Did quota go up for you this year? I don't need a percent. Just answer yes or no. Did quota go up? I want to see some yeses or nos real quick. Okay, and maybe this is a little too personal. I think a lot of people may not answer. Did quota go up for you this year? Yes or no? Okay, and while we're waiting for some answers, I can answer that question because I've been polling that in the webinars I've been doing each week. I get anywhere from 20 to 60. I had 90 people live a couple weeks ago, salespeople. And I asked, quota go up for everybody? The answer is yes. Next question. Are you limited for access in hospitals and doctors? The answer is yes. Third and final question. Has your company done anything? Have they invested a dime in your training? Shit, even in a book to say, hey, things are changing, everybody. Here's something to help you overcome these major obstacles. Let me give you an answer. Overwhelmingly no. No. And the reason why I know this, one, I'm polling salespeople. I'm doing it through my surveys. I'm also asking them personally. And number two, I'm focused on helping salespeople right now. I'm launching a course at the end of the month, right? This is not a pitch for my course. Of course, like I'm running a business here. So do I want people to sign up for that course? Yes. But the reason why I mentioned that is that I did like my own market research to be like, okay, well, if I'm doing a program on teaching salespeople how to sell and market to physicians online, what else is out there? So I'm just curious. Do you know what I found? Nothing, right? This is a problem. Wow, somebody did not have quota increase on them. That's impressive. Excellent book for Pfizer reps. Who Moved My Cheese? Yeah, I mean, that's a good book. Darren, can you reshare this on demand? Yeah, Darren, absolutely. You just go to my profile at the end. And by the way, for those, actually, you know what? Let me put a banner. Banner up. To watch on demand, check out the State of MedTech's Tech YouTube channel. I'm still getting better about this. Let me put that banner up right now. Okay, there you go. To watch this on demand, you can reshare the LinkedIn. You can reshare this on demand because this is going to be on LinkedIn. It's recorded. Yeah, Yeah, there we go. You can reshare this on demand through LinkedIn, but there we have a YouTube channel. I would recommend go subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get alerts because that's where everything's saved. Okay. Now, the frustration behind all of this is that there's two frustrations for me. One, um, companies are putting more pressure on salespeople to perform in a world where there's limited access, right? So it's like, hey, why aren't you hitting your quota? You know, even though hospitals are shut down and you can't go in, right? That's number one. The other side of it, my frustration is with salespeople. I hate to say this, right? You might get upset with me. I'm probably going to lose I'm going to lose followers for this. I'm going to lose subscribers for this. Some people may not even enroll in my course for this, but I don't care. I'm just going to say it. You get what you deserve. This you've seen this. The writing has been on the wall for this for 2 years now. Longer than that, but definitely 2 years. Why haven't you taken control of your own career and invested in your own development to say, I need to figure this stuff out? Forget about a course, forget about anything else. Why hasn't anybody just said, you know what? I need to figure out, hey, Twitter, LinkedIn. My customers are there. They're having real-time conversations. Like it's there. This is not opinion anymore. How many people have said, you know, I'm going to figure this out? What's amazing, and I don't know why this is. Why is this in our industry? I think that it's part of it is because we mimic and emulate our customers. Our customers are very conservative. But like I had a salesperson who attended our live stream the other day, and I gave some tactics. And this salesperson, who's like a young guy, new, very sharp. I like the guy. He decides like, you know what, I'm going to try it. You know, Omar's right. Like I showed the data. The guy makes a post, and not a very good one. He does a post of his product, right? That's not the most quote post. He takes a screenshot and sends this to me via LinkedIn Messenger. He's like, dude, I cannot believe it. One of the orthopedic surgeons that I'm trying to engage with commented on this. Like, I'm not asking for much, everybody. What I'm saying is please help yourself. Help yourself so this does not happen. You know? Let me come back to the chat. The chat's blowing up. I love it though. Greg says MedTech startup and healthcare SaaS, pretty great culture, still stuck in the past in sales and marketing practices. So absolutely, Greg. Absolutely. Look, man, I could be doing much better if I just say, hey, I'm gonna go and work in like internet, social media. There's more money in it. You know, they're more open to my ideas, right? In terms of how you market and stuff. But I love this industry because it's very rewarding. You know, we're dealing with patient care and everything. And plus, like, let's all be honest, we all deep down inside, we love the fact that we know how to sell and market within an extremely regulated, complicated world. Like that's a good barrier. You know, it's not like anybody can just come and enter this area. I mean, look, for God's sake, you know, Amazon, JP Morgan, and Berkshire Hathaway teamed up for the trifecta of we're going to change healthcare. And they shut it down in 2 years. They threw in the towel. So this is not easy. But we got to evolve our practices because and maybe, you know what, now that I'm saying this out loud, maybe that's what it is that our industry got comfortable because there's such a high barrier for entry. So it's like, why do we have to evolve our marketing and sales practices? Like customers aren't going anywhere and people aren't just coming into this industry like that. But now, well, when you have limited access, things change. Things change. Joel says, as someone who's looking to get into the med device industry and was specifically sold on doing sales as an entry point, how will this shift affect entry-level sales roles? That's actually a really good question. I think in a variety of ways. Number one, entry-level sales roles used to just be like, hey, we need bodies. We need people to just show up to the hospital and develop these relationships and, you know, support cases, right? So we'll take people and train them. I think the way this is going to change is that someone needs to either show a track record or if they don't have a track record, show competency and proof that like, hey, if we plug this person in, they just need a laptop and a cell phone and they will find ways to develop relationships with customers, sell and market, and get those opportunities for us to be invited into the hospital. I think that's the big thing. And again, how would you demonstrate that? And I've done this already with a couple of like young professionals who reached out and they wanted mentorship. I told them, I said, look, go to LinkedIn, go through Twitter, develop a public profile, get those engagements publicly with physicians, your hiring managers or the people you're trying to get hired by will see that, and you can take screenshots, send them links, say, hey, look, I can develop relationships. I can sell via social media to a physician. You should hire me. And it's, a couple guys I know, they got hired that way, right? It's not going to happen for everybody. By the way, if somebody's interested in coming on the show live, like right now, just drop a comment in the chat and say yes, and I will send you a link, and I'll bring you on live. I'll bring you on live for a discussion. I brought the VP of sales of one med device company earlier this week. That was a lot of fun. So I'm happy to bring somebody on live. But again, this is the big thing, is that with these companies, your big box companies, even your mid cap companies, you are disposable, salespeople. I hate to say that. Same with the marketers. Salespeople, you're disposable. So look, this company had a record. They had 80 billion in revenue. Of any company, they're the ones who can say, like, yeah, we're going to keep some people. But to be fair with Pfizer, they looked at, it's a business, and they looked at the business model and said, hey, things changed, and our customers, doctors and healthcare providers, even when COVID is, they don't want face-to-face engagement anymore. So instead of 5 people for a territory, we just need one who knows how to engage with them digitally. And then when somebody, requests like an in-person meeting, that they can go. And again, it's a tough decision. I can't say that if I was running a company like that I wouldn't make the same decision, because it's math, right? That's the world of business, my friends. A company will say screw you way before you say screw you to the company, right? And so my thing to salespeople in med device, but I would say biotech environment, but especially med device, seeing this, what are you going to do about this? Are you going to finally decide, hey, 2020 sucked, 2021 was hard, 2022 is not changing. It's only going to get more difficult. Are you going to change the way you approach this? Are you going to decide, hey, I'm going to just like start doing some more stuff on LinkedIn. I'm going to figure this thing out. Forget taking a course. When I started figuring this stuff out 6 years ago, there was no course on this. There still really isn't, right? Sometimes you just have to pick up the tool and start using it. I had a salesperson message me that within their territory, this person was in New York, or not, they were in New York State, but they were, I think, in Buffalo or something. And they're like, oh, LinkedIn's not a good platform for my type of physician, because I did a search and I only found two physicians. And I was like, all right, what's your territory? And the guy gave me like Buffalo and whatever surrounding cities there are. And I was like, what's your call point? He's like, oh, it's gynecological surgery. And I did a search, and I found I think 180 just within like a certain territory. And I'm like, dude, it's not the tool, it's you. You don't know how to use the tool. That's fine. That's fine. That's not what this is about. Look, I mean, again, let's talk about tools. Like this microphone, for me right now, the ROI on this microphone is like, not a whole lot. This same microphone for Joe Rogan, it's $100 million podcast. Football, ROI for me, $0. ROI for Tom Brady, billions. You got to know how to use the tools. And if you don't know how to use the tools, that's okay. You got to start somewhere. You can't keep going back to your old ways. Like some reps are just getting, like they're bragging about it. It's like, oh, with COVID lockdown and everything, I'm still finding a way to get into the hospital and everything. Like that's stupid. That's number one. It's a great way to get fired. Number two, even if you're getting through, you don't think someone in the hospital is going to figure out or find out that a rep snuck in. They're going to crucify you. Right? Arun, and I need to get better about I need to read these comments before I read them out loud, but I like to ride the bullet. So Arun says, interesting convo and discussion here, Omar. There's huge opportunity within a company for marketing and sales partnering with each other to have a much more effective digital footprint. The first step is teaching Salesforce on how to leverage their company's digital activity for their advantage. Absolutely, Arun. Absolutely. Now, Arun, if you want to come on live, just let me know. I'll message you a link. I'm trying to get people to come on here live. This is like a news show. MedTech Live, baby. But no, absolutely. This is the other thing. I don't know why this exists. Actually, I do know why this exists. This division between sales and marketing exists for a couple of reasons. Number one, Most marketing departments and marketing teams are run by people who are never in sales. That's okay. Look, I carried the bag. I'm very proud of that. I think to be a really damn good marketer, you had to have carried the bag. You had to have sold. If not, which is okay, then you at least need to spend a lot of time with salespeople to understand what the day in the life is like, so that when you do marketing campaigns, you in the back of your mind are thinking, how is this going to help a salesperson close a deal? How is this going to help a salesperson gain access, right? And again, not all marketing campaigns are created equally. Not everything has a direct ROI on that. I'm saying that right now. This is very, very clear. Okay. But there's that side of it. On the other side of it, salespeople, they'll demand certain things. Marketing will do a song and dance and jump through hoops and deliver it. And then the salespeople will use the tools the wrong way and not do it the way marketing has told them to. And then they dump on marketing. And it just goes back and forth. We need to get rid of this bullshit of two separate teams. It's one team. There is a sales department, there's a marketing department. It's one team. For me, whenever I go to a company, I call it the TMT team, the money team, right? So if I in a marketing department hit my goals of, I don't know, certain number of demos, certain number of leads, certain number of deals, great. But if sales doesn't hit their quota, I'm not celebrating. We, right? And even within companies, I feel, and I guess I get it. Like if you work at a large company like a Medtronic and Abbott, like why would you care about some other team? That I get. But for the smaller companies, startups and mid caps, like this should be very much of like, hey, I'm in California. There's a salesperson out in New York. How do we team up through LinkedIn and promote each other's? We amplify each other's content. We use network effects to their advantages, right? So that we can proliferate and push technology adoption. So if some guy or gal in New York is killing it and she's closing deals and taking pictures and showing adoption of technology, me in California, I'm going to promote the hell out of that because one, I want more of her customers to see that. I need some of my geography to see that because then visually, when human beings seeing adoption happening, this is how, and I have the book somewhere around here. Here we go. Great book called Wanting, about mimetics, meaning that we desire things and mimic each other. We desire things because other people have them, right? That's a very key point that I just delivered or told you about technology adoption, right? That's how you need to think about it, right? Greg, I heard this as marketing yesterday. Yeah, I've heard it as marketing as well. That's the dumbest freaking name I've ever heard. That's such a terrible name. It's I would say that's up there and as bad as the term marketeer. I hate that term marketing. It's so bad. But yeah, no, I've heard it because it's like combo sales and marketing. Terrible name, by the way. Terrible name. Yeah, well, I'm seeing in the comments like this is a thing that's fires. We'll see because like honestly, like my prediction is like other companies, like large billion-dollar companies, they'll make these same cuts, but they're not making this big shift to digital. Their thing is just like, hey, we're doing fine. Let's just cut a bunch of our salespeople, and whoever's left, just work them harder. Because why not? Why not? I think a lot of companies do a complete garbage job of investing in their people, Even postgraduate programs were affected 2020 to 2021. Residents were redirected to the ERs and ICUs. Yeah, that's true. Can you imagine that? How lousy would that be? You kill yourself through medical school. You kill it on your step 1 and step 2 USMLE exams. You get into like a really like high level, I don't know, dermatology residency or a urology residency, and then it's like, nope, everything's gonna be put on pause. You got to go work in the ER. God, that's got to be miserable. Matt Ambrose, thanks, man. Thanks for the shout out. EP fam in the house. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Greg's on fire. Greg, you're new to this show, aren't you? I like that. Let me show this. Greg says, let's circle back and come up with something better. I like that. Greg, if you're not following him already, him or her, I still don't know the identity. But you got to check out the Mad Device Rep on Instagram. Best meme page ever. Tracy Wattenmaker. What a name. Wattenmaker. I like that. Videos on social media are essential. I find the most views and feedback I receive is with 2-minute clips versus lengthy posts and pictures. Mm, I'm going to disagree a little bit. So let me pull up Tracy's comment here. So here's the thing. Um, you got to keep in mind a couple of things. Number one, when you think about content, you make assumptions based on human psychology, which has not really changed, right? So simple things as, if using a picture of a person is going to draw a little bit more attention than, let's say, objects, or using something that's dark or divisive is going to draw more attention than something that's happy. That's just like how it works. The other thing you need to make assumptions around, or keep or take into account, is the way algorithms work. So videos on LinkedIn, mm, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, were highly optimized. So I made a switch from writing long form articles to doing videos. Right now, short videos were performing better than long videos. But then, if you look at Facebook and YouTube, some other channels, and I would say LinkedIn too, some of my longer videos perform much better. And the reason why? Engagement. Engagement. LinkedIn's game is they want to make sure that people stay on the platform. And so if you do that through a video and someone's staying on an extra few minutes, that's a few more minutes more that you're able to advertise them something. Right now in 2022, what I've noticed in the data is, and again, this is my data, and then seeing what other marketers have done. Posts are outperforming videos now. You know, posts are outperforming videos because I'm not sure. LinkedIn's algorithm, and I talk about this in my webinars, they take into account certain things called dwell time. So how long does somebody dwell on a certain post? They take into account the kind of network you have. So if you do a post that does well within your network, and let's say your network is primarily pharma or med device, and like adjacent networks like physicians or nurses, they might see that content. So it just really depends. It just really depends. But I'm glad that you see that. And I'm wondering what Tracy does. Are you a rep? Are you a marketer? Let's see what Tracy does. Okay, let's see more comments. Let's see. Anecdotal experience thus far. My docs in between cases at church. Yeah, no. I mean, I didn't mean to like knock on you. By the way, I'm an intense guy, So sometimes I come out with, but no, I agree. And again, like some of the stuff I'm sharing is anecdotal as well. I try my best to at least pull from reports. Like at least my posts, I collect them in an Excel spreadsheet. Um, there's an app called, not an app, a software called Shield that I use that pulls all this data. So I'm checking that, and I'm cross-referencing with other marketers. Um, but yeah, let's see what other. Let's see. We got a lot of comments here. Let's see. Let's see if we have anything else interesting. Man, I love this, how everybody's calling from different places. Tracy's a med device sales rep for, I won't mention the company, a really big company, a big top 5 device company. Tracy, you should check out, shameless plug. Actually, you know what? It's not a shameless plug because part of this is like I'm trying to help salespeople as much as I can. So if you're in sales, you should, and I'm dropping this link in the comments right now. I'm doing a weekly live sales call. So salespeople can join. I invite surgeons and I talk about sales tactics on social media and LinkedIn. I have surgeons there just to validate and provide feedback like, yeah, we like that and everything. So it's not just my opinion. I'm doing this every week. So sign up, just RSVP in that link, and then you'll be added to the calendar invite. And then this will go on your calendar. So it's a recurring meeting every week. That way you have it there. You can always jump on the Zoom either through phone or through your computer. But that's at least one way where I'm updating like the latest in tactics, things that I've noticed have changed, etc. Again, one of the exciting things that I saw was like a sales rep took one of the tactics I shared, did it the next day, and then like screenshotted it to me and said like, "Hey, it actually worked." And that guy, I looked at his activity, like rarely ever even posts. Like I think that might have been his first post in months. So I was super happy about that. Tracy, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Tracy, you're a sweetheart. I hope you join my the sales call next week. There's a sales call going on, and then I haven't scheduled this yet, but I'm also doing a formal webinar where I go through sales strategies I've developed over the years to help salespeople. And like full disclosure, that other webinar I'm talking about, the purpose of it is share some really high level, high yield information and sell seats to my sales course that I'm doing at the end of the month. But what I would say is like you go to that free webinar that I'm doing, you can get a lot out of that without signing up for the course, and that's kind of the purpose. Great. We still have a good amount of people on. You know what's funny? I just said that we have a good amount of people on, and now the number just jumped up. What other questions you guys have? Does anybody want to come on live? Come on live, do a little discussion, a little Q&A. If you do, say yes in the chat. If you want to come on live, say yes. I'm going to direct message you a link, and you can join live. So yeah. Well, this has been great. Actually, aside from that, let me ask all the salespeople who are on, if you can do me a big favor, what day of the week, if I were to do live streams like this, like interactive live streams, what day of the week is the best? Can you drop the day? If let's say I came to you and said, you get to decide what day I will do this live stream every single week, what day would that be? Monday through Sunday, right? Can you drop a day of the week? Give me a little feedback. I wish I can do surveys on this, but I can't do that live. What day of the week would you like to see me doing this live stream? Drop it in the chat. Don't all go at once. All right. But yeah, that Pfizer, the Pfizer news really, it did not shock me, but I was just like, man, I could not wait until like Monday to talk about this. I literally was I was like, it's Friday at 5 p.m. I'm getting ready to like go work out. I'm like, no, I got to get on and talk about this. Douglas saying, so Wednesday. Yep. I was thinking about Wednesday. Okay, great. Wednesday. I prefer anytime after 7 p.m. regardless of the day. That's good to know, Tracy. That's what I've been hearing from sales reps, is that they prefer these like evening time ones, which is good. I'm just wondering like how late is too late. The webinars I've been doing are at 5 p.m. Pacific, and they seem to have like the last few weeks I've had 90 people on live and then 60 people live. And those are Zooms. Those aren't like live streams onto the LinkedIn platform. But then I did one at 7 a.m. on Thursday, thinking that maybe people early in the morning could join, or people in Europe. That didn't go so well. We had like, I think 15 or 20 people total. Yeah, it happens. You got to test, right? Anybody else? And what I need to do is I'm going to take a quick peek, because if you guys did not know, again, let me put up the banner. We have a YouTube channel. So go subscribe. Please subscribe to the State of MedTech on YouTube. Turn on the notifications, because there's a lot of videos there that you probably did not know exist. So you can get access to them, watch them anytime you want. We're going to be making a lot of great content. And the other thing is that you can go on the YouTube channel and check, like, for example, the live stream I did this week with Moon Surgical is on there. So you can get exposure to some really exciting companies and see like what new technologies are out there. Maybe there's a certain company you want to join. So like Moon Surgical, very exciting company. You should go check that out. But the YouTube channel, the YouTube video is up on the channel. You can watch it. So I talked to the CEO and COO about the technology. I show videos, I take questions from the audience. So that was a lot of fun. And I can't believe this. We actually have a crowd of people on YouTube watching this. That's great. Wow. I thought it was just mainly LinkedIn that I got the audience. That's great. So it looks like YouTube, there's some people. Twitter. Shout out to Twitter, man. Man, I'm sorry. I need to do a better job of checking these streams on other platforms, but man, thank you very much. Twitter coming in strong. All right. Let's see. Let me come back. I got some comments coming in. Jeffrey, I'm on late. Yeah, no, that's cool. Does it make sense to get close to nurses if doctors don't talk in person because of COVID, or maybe emailing? So yeah, so let me answer that question, Jeff. So for one, I think that a untapped resource are people who are not the direct decision makers. So With nurses, here's what you need to know about nurses. It's rare that a nurse will advocate for a technology and push it through, but they will also prevent it from getting adopted. So in a lot of hospitals, especially the large ones, they have a committee that they put nurses on. So a doctor might want a new technology, but the nurses, and I think this is a good thing, the nurses, because they're part of the care team, they need to have decision making in that as well. They might look at technology and be like, yeah, but this is expensive and this actually makes it more difficult for nurses. So they can stop it. So I think selling and marketing nurses are important, but that also means selling and marketing and telling the story of the technology to people like the office manager or the PA. Because for the most part, like let's look at the office manager. I hate the word gatekeeper because it's a sort of this negative connotation, and office managers know this. So that's why they're really nasty sometimes to salespeople because you come in, you know, and they know that you do not care about anything that they have to say. You don't care about them, period. You're just trying to get past them. So that's why they put up a strong hold. The best deals that I've been able to be involved with is when you go and talk directly to the office manager and say, "Hey, look, I don't want to bother you. I know the doctor's busy. Let me tell you about the technology. This is what it does, etc." It's a really exciting company. This is why I'm excited about it. If you can deliver this to the doctor, that'd be great. I might check back in like in a week just because I'm just doing my job. They'll be super nice to you if you're just like upfront. So I think selling to non-decision makers is a good idea. Angela, bro, just subscribe. Thanks. Thank you so much, Angela. Why isn't everybody more like Angela? She goes right away, subscribes to the YouTube channel. Love it. Thank you so much. Why aren't you guys all subscribing to the YouTube channel? Let me go check. Oh, some of you guys did. You just didn't mention it. Oh, you guys are too humble. I saw that subscriber count went up. Good job, everybody. Love it. Thank you so much. Um, didn't mention it. Oop. But that's what happens when you go to the YouTube channel while it's still playing. But Jeffrey, to answer your other question is like, nobody wants to talk to you in person anymore. And it's not just because of COVID. It's because the hospital literally went through 2020. Not you. They don't like seriously. Look, there's for every one rep who is not just good at sales, but they can hold a clinical conversation like a peer. So like nurses, doctors are like, we respect this guy or gal, and they do a really good job. There's like 100 sales reps are just absolutely worthless. They don't know shit from Shinola when it comes to. Sorry, if you have your kids around. Sorry, this is a Friday night live stream, so I might have a couple of words slip through. They don't know shit from Shinola when it comes to having a clinical conversation. So like you provide zero value, and then you're showing up. Imagine if while you were let me this is such a great example. Let me put you in a perspective. I'm going to give you a perspective right now. I want you to pretend that as a salesperson, let's say you're going to the OR or you're going to the lounge or cafeteria, and you're like, okay, I know that Dr. So-and-so is finishing their case right now. I'm going to try and just, introduce myself, etc. You're getting ready to do all these things. And then out of nowhere, some salesperson pops up and says, hey, Janet, it's so, hey, great to see you. I didn't know that you're here on these days. Listen, I know, what's your biggest problem right now when it comes to emailing doctors or trying to meet them in person? Can you talk to me about that? What are you struggling with right now? I have this really good. How annoyed would you be? You would be pissed. You'd be like, who the hell is this person? That's what you're doing with doctors and nurses, which is in the middle of the day. Because again, no offense, you're not a clinician, so you do not know this. I can say that I know this because at least I spent time in medical school and I had some responsibilities when I was dealing with patients. But again, I was a student, but still, where you're trying to focus on what the hell you're doing, and you have the salesperson talking about God knows what and trying to chum it up with you and everything, it's annoying. Like I guarantee you, if like it was not illegal, most people would just want to like backhand you in that moment, just like get the hell away from me. That's what you have to keep in mind. Engage with people online because you know why? They get to engage with you on their terms when they want and learn about you over time. You're going to accomplish more in a span of 48 hours finding ways to engage with a physician, let's say their team, through a LinkedIn or through a Twitter or an Instagram, those platforms are a little bit different, but let's just focus on LinkedIn, than you will spending 3 or 4 weeks showing up in person in the hospital. I bet you. I'll guarantee that, right? Douglas, there's no YouTube link, but if you just look up the state of MedTech on YouTube, so subscribe to the state of MedTech on YouTube. There's only one channel. Tracy says Tracy's great. MVP tonight. MVP Tracy Wadmaker. Rapport and credibility with entire support staff is essential. I absolutely agree. Rapport and credibility is really important. But this is also why like our industry is very outdated in terms of how they hire. Because of that, a lot of times they hire people who just have a lot of experience, and it's not even experience. It's like, well, who's been selling in this market the longest? Let's go with that person because they have the relationships. A lot of medtech companies, they're moving away from that because they're just realizing, like, again, my life has been startups. I've not worked for Medtronic or JJ, but I'll tell you what I know a lot about: starting a medtech company and taking a product to market. So I've been in places where we hire the baddest mofo out of Intuitive Surgical, or name whatever company you want, who has all these relationships, and they go to those relationships and try and sell the new product, and they fail because that salesperson has just gotten way too comfortable. They won President's Club, and again, I'm using Intuitive as an example. They are like beating their chest, and they win it in President's Clubs all the time at Intuitive, etc. Not knowing that a lot of their sales work is not because they're good; it's because of the fact that Intuitive just dominated the market, and had this great penetration. So they're not doing anything special. They leave, they go to a startup like the ones I've been in the past, and they just fall flat in their face because they actually don't know how to sell. They don't know how to make a compelling clinical value proposition, and they're just really bad salespeople. They're just annoying. They suck. They're the worst, right? And I feel badly for them because in their mind, they're like, no, I'm a winner. I'm really good. I've won President's Clubs. I've won triple platinum, diamond, whatever clubs. And they struggle. And they never reflect to say, I think that I've dated myself and I haven't kept up skill-wise. This is the problem. And by the way, the same holds true for marketers in this industry. I don't know why. Like in this industry, I've gone into the world. Like I spent a year in SaaS, and of course, throughout my career, I've engaged with marketers across all kinds of industry, fintech, consumer, etc. Device, maybe pharma too, but like I'm going to focus on device. There's a level of like hubris, unearned hubris, with device marketers and salespeople. Like I have no idea where it comes from. Like it's unbelievable. And I meet these people at conferences that I speak at. Like they're either on panel with me or they're speaking at the conference or in their crowd, and they got their heads so far up. You know what? Like that, it's just unbelievable. Right? I think I need to do these live streams on Fridays. I'm a lot more unhinged on these Fridays. Maybe we could, you know what? Maybe this is the State of MedTech Friday happy hour, right? Wrap it up. Talk about what's new in the news on Friday on the week. This might be a thing, man. I'm looking at the live stream account. Not bad. Friday on, man, it's 5:30. Yeah, not bad. Johnny Man on point. Lots of reps that fail to adapt and grow. Yes. And here's the thing. So Johnny Man, great name. Johnny Man. I like that. It's like Johnny Cash. What you see in most industries is that psychologically the industry mimics the customer base it has. And what's funny is that markets and industries, they take on a psychology of their own, similar to an individual. So medicine as an industry is, or not as an industry, medicine as a community, as a culture, dogmatic, pragmatic, very skeptical about things, right? So the industry that sells to that group, the med device industry, is also dogmatic, pragmatic, conservative, skeptical, right? So that's part of the reason why that they have not changed when it comes to sales marketing. The thing that I don't get is that the community, the customer base we sell to, has continuing education as like it's deeply deeply rooted in the culture of medicine. Continuing education is a big thing, not only for for CMEs, by the way, but also like if you talk to a doctor, most doctors, if they have a hobby, they know like a lot about that hobby. They know the history, etc., so on and so forth. They're very well read. I don't see that in the industry. This is the thing that shocked me when I entered this industry. I mean, you can see the books behind me, but when I started, what was the first thing I did? I bought books. I was like, I need to read. I need to learn about sales and marketing. And then I talked to salespeople or marketers even. I'm like, hey, what books should I? What are the and silence, nothing. They're like, oh, I don't know. Everybody knows about spin selling and challenger sale, right? That's it. It ends there. And I guarantee that most people who say like, oh, you should read the challenger sale, they probably didn't even read it themselves, right? So there's like no continuing education. The reps rely on the company to educate them, right? They do not take their own personal growth on themselves, which is stupid. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a young rep listening to this, your professional growth is on you. It's not on your manager, right? It's on you. So at the end of the year, when you're like complaining and bitching and moaning about why you didn't get a promotion, that's on you. This makes no sense to me. You want to make more money? Like read, learn, start figuring out like, hey, what do I got to do to if I'm operating at this level, what more do I have to do to be world class? People don't think that way. And I'm going to take a moment. Oh, by the way, if you like what I'm saying, please hit that emoji button, scroll over, give me some like claps or hearts or something. That helps. That lets me know that I'm on something and I'll dig deeper. Plus, it helps with the algorithm so that more people see this. Help me out. Help me grow the show for God's sake. But let me, I can't like dive into this topic and riff on it without like mentioning, my dear mentor, the late great Chris Sells, legend, right? And he used to tell me, look, on my desk, and I'm gonna repost this actually because he used to be on LinkedIn. He passed away a couple years ago, but LinkedIn for some reason deleted his profile. I'm gonna take a guess that some asshole at his previous company said like, oh, this guy's no more longer, and they deleted his profile. Is anyway, I have his rules for early stage leaders on my desk. I'm gonna post this again on Monday. But one of the things he told me when it comes to sales, he's like, as a salesperson, and actually, I have that. Hold on. I have his podcast that I recorded many years ago with him. You should, if you're a salesperson, you should listen to this podcast. Um, Hold on. Let me find it here. Mindloom Anchor. Here we go. I'm gonna drop this podcast in the chat. Okay. I highly recommend if you click this link, you'll go to Anchor and it'll give you different what's it called, platforms to listen to it on. Okay. Where is it? Oh man. While I'm looking for this, I'm afraid that to look back and see like a lot of people just signed off. So they're like, I'm not gonna wait for this guy to find this thing. I'm just gonna log off. All right, I found it. So, oops. Okay. So let me Chris Sells podcast on sales leadership. So I'm dropping that link. I highly recommend that because again, this is a sales leader who's like the baddest mofo, like med device godfather of sales. US Surgical, Intuitive, Mazor Robotics. I mean, and you'll learn a lot in that like 30-minute podcast I recorded with him. But anyways, what I was going to say is that one of the things he would say is like, look, as a sales professional, like, how do you wake up in the morning? Do you just wake up and just grab your bag and just get in the car and put on the music and start driving? Or do you wake up? Do you plan your day? Do you systematically have a plan of what you're going to do that day, how you're going to do it? And I know like that's kind of like a lot of sales leaders talk about this, but the way listen to the podcast, I'm not doing it service in terms of how he said it, but a lot of people don't put that into context. A lot of salespeople, when I talk to them, they're calling on a doctor. and I'll say, okay, what was the last 3 publications that doctor has? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. And salespeople wonder why they can't be seen as a peer, right? And to be frank, again, their companies don't do a good job because their companies don't train them to do this. The company does a great job training them on how to sell the product, to pitch the product and everything. That part nobody cares. You can teach a monkey to do that. What's important is, how do you train your salesperson to engage clinically with a physician so that within a few minutes the clinician's like, yeah, this person knows what they're talking about. I should listen more. I might learn something from them, right? Um, let me take a second. Let me see the chat here. I'm gonna put Jeffrey's comment up. I like it. I know I'm not the best, but I'm always getting better. Absolutely, man. That's what it's about. Hey, student of the game, there is no arrival. It's the same with me. Look, I'm, I I try to be humble. I feel like my father would be very disappointed with what I'm about to say, but like, I'm confident enough I can go toe to toe with any marketing person in medical devices. I mean, I'm confident to go against any marketer, period. But in the world of like med device healthcare, man, let me tell you, the only thing I'm afraid of is if there's another guy or gal with my level of like competitiveness and drive competing against me. But at the end of the day, man, you're only as good as your last at bat. Every day, student of the game. How am I getting better? Look, this little quote unquote sabbatical that I took in SaaS, a lot of people don't understand why I did that. I made a short video about it, but a lot of people don't understand, like, why'd you leave med device? I went into SaaS because the level of marketing in MedTech is so laughable. It's so much of a joke. I went to be a head of growth at a fintech SaaS company because I needed to harden up. I need to go to the next level and say, okay, what happens when I go to a company that revenue is really determined by what marketing does? And there's a lead count and demo count that has to be reverse engineered and hit on a monthly and quarterly basis, right? And then what am I going to do at that point? That's what happened. Now I went on that, like, it was like an undergraduate year, summer away. So now I'm back in the industry with a vengeance, I guess you can say. Man, I don't know what I got over. Maybe it was a long week, but I'm like, I'm spicy tonight. Let's see. Man, I'll tell you, Tracy, these are the kind of comments I want to see. I think because in our industry, very few people, like, I don't think people do live streams like this. It's just like so conservative. People are afraid of offending others and everything. So maybe some people don't know how to like have like a fun like comment section, but Tracy's great. Tracy, I hope you show up to all my live streams. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of you, Tracy. Big fan. Tracy, see, look at this. Beauty of community. Darren Gilstrap says, Tracy, send me a LinkedIn connection request. Look, love it. People are coming in. Oh, I don't know this. Manjunath Anand. I hope I pronounced it right. I'm not a salesperson, but I absolutely love this talk. Hey, man, you're welcome. These talks. I mean, it's for salespeople, but I want other people to understand like what sales is like. I think it's so important. I think it's important to develop empathy. And again, like I'm riffing on salespeople right now, but if you're in the product team or R&D, and especially if you're on the marketing team, you have to be empathetic to what a salesperson goes through. It's hard, especially in devices. Like, look, you get and there's people I know who they're in 30s, 40s, 50s, and they're doing this still. They got a family and kids. You get on the road, you're on the road the whole week. You're going from one hospital to another. You're doing like installs. You're dealing with like really nasty people who who don't want to see you. Like, it's physically and mentally a tough job. Brutal, which is what sparked me to come on and do this live stream, because when I saw that Pfizer did that layoff, because they're laying off Salesforce, even though they had a record year, $80 billion in revenue, their thing is like, well, we don't need all these salespeople because most physicians, they all want to engage digitally. So we don't need this many salespeople we don't need feet in the street anymore. So that's what field is that sales, tough job. Very, very hard job. Hard job, you know? Um, all right. Uh, I'm loving this, everybody, but at some point I gotta hop in a few minutes because I gotta go get my workout in, but let's see. Any more comments, any more discussion points? Drop them in the comments. Let's see. Anybody else want to contribute anything? The last time I said this, I feel like every time I say like, "Hey guys, I gotta go," then like the viewership number goes up, the comments start to go up, and then people start asking questions, and I'm on for like another like 20 minutes or so. Um, man, I'm like, this is wild. I can't believe that there's people on YouTube watching this because we don't have, our YouTube channel's growing, but we don't have the we don't have this. Yeah, I'm just surprised. Oh, and look at that, the subscriber numbers is going up. Thank you, everybody. Love it. Yeah. And again, biggest thing about YouTube is that like LinkedIn's the main platform for me. We also have a Facebook page and stuff, but I want to start building the YouTube page because a lot of people want to watch these things like again because I have guests on and everything. YouTube's really the best platform for that. Unfortunately, LinkedIn, even though they have great like live streaming capabilities and everything, they don't have like a library where on my profile or on my company page you go and look and like, oh, there's like a video folder for marketing talks or sales. LinkedIn, by the way, I should submit that to LinkedIn. I'm gonna probably I should message some of their product managers. That would be a great LinkedIn. That would be a great thing. Set up a way for me to create a library. All right. Oh, Sarah. See, as hard as I am, I got like a soft heart for people. Sarah Bird's coming in saying, "I just came in. I'm bummed I missed." Oh, you didn't miss, Sarah. I mean, you can, Sarah. Go. I was saying if you. Oh, it's on the banner. You can watch this on demand or on recording on the State of MedTech. But okay, I'm gonna stay on for another 5 or 10 minutes. But like seriously, I at top of the hour, I gotta go get my workout in. You know, these live streams are like this is like a full contact sport. I gotta stay in shape to keep up with these things. Douglas Loran, love the topic, Omar. Can't wait for the next one. I must sign off. 2:30 wake up for a production at Paley. Man, yeah, that's early. Hey, best of luck, Douglas. Thank you so much for joining. Ahmed Najib, what's up, man? Thank you, Omar. First time to watch a video for you, and I really love it. Subscribe to your channel. Thank you. Love it, man. I love it. What a great thing. Sarah Bird, since you are so kind and sweet to say that you were bummed that you missed. If you're still on, leave a comment. What topic do you have that's top mind? You can ask me a tactical question. You can ask me my opinion about something. You can ask anything. Look at man, Sarah Bird dropping some knowledge here. Awesome. I'll check it out. The only workout you regret is the one you don't do. I have never heard that. That needs to be on a t-shirt. Very nicely done, Sarah Bird. Big fan. Big fan. Okay, so let me do this. Again, I gotta sign off and okay, I'm gonna give it 10 more minutes, but because I'm having a good time with this crowd, and there's a lot more people on this live stream than I expect. We hit 50 earlier, by the way. Um, does somebody want to come on live and have a discussion about something? Quick discussion with a question. If you do, just say yes. I will message you on LinkedIn the link to join live, kind of like a CNN or Fox. It would be fun. What streaming device do you have, Darren? So I'm using StreamYard. I like StreamYard because I can do it kind of like a news show. Banners and everything. You know, so StreamYard is good. That's the one downside about LinkedIn is that the moment because I have a good following and I have creator mode on everything. I submitted a request to get live streaming on LinkedIn. They granted it to me, but the moment they did, I realized that LinkedIn doesn't have a streaming function. You have to actually go and use a third-party app like StreamYard or something else to stream into it. That's the only downside. What can you do though? What can you do? All right. Nobody wants to come on live with me. What do I watch Netflix on? What do you mean? What do I watch Netflix on? Like device? I mean, I watch it on TV. What streaming? Oh, you said streaming device. So, okay, yeah, so I'll tell you about the setup I have. So my streaming setup, I'm doing this through my Mac desktop. I have a Sony Alpha 6400 4K camera that's set up above my computer. I have a Blue Yeti microphone, and then the software, which is the most important part, is StreamYard. Um, all right. Oh, great question, Morgan Vittingel. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So the question, as I pop my ears, the question is, do you ever see surgical reps jobs going away and directly working for the hospital? No, I actually don't. There's all this like BS talk. Oh, it's gonna go. Reps are going away and everything. It's gonna be reduced so that like unless you're needed, like you're not gonna be there. I don't see reps jobs going away. You know why? Um, the, these technologies are really complicated. And look, I'm talking about robotics and stuff. Let's just look at something simple. Implants. Let's just say pedicle screws and everything. And one of my classmates who I interviewed, you guys probably know him. He's a spine surgeon, Dr. Chet Donnelly. He creates a lot of great content. You should check out his Instagram page, Donnelly Spine Consult. Great cases on there. He said it best himself. He said, look, these reps who come in, I went through medical school. I went through residency and training and fellowship. He's like, but there's a rep there who's probably seen this case done with this technology like 1,000 times. There's no way in hell that I know more about this one part of the procedure than that person does. And if you think about it, that's what's so important about that room, about the OR. That's why the team is so important, is that you have the surgeon, the support staff, they're owning the case from start to finish. And at each portion of the case, you have a technology specialist who is there to guide them because not every case is the same, right? And so that technology specialist, at Mazor, we call him a clinical sales rep, whether it's a pedicle screw or a robotic case or whatever you want to call it, they've seen so many different versions of what can happen in a case, both in their career or not their career, in their time at the company, but also the company does continuing trainings like, hey, if you see this, this is what you do, etc., that they're able to troubleshoot. Me personally, taking a rep out of the room completely leaves a huge void for a lot of things to go wrong. If a certain tool doesn't work the right way, they're having some clinical issue, like that's putting more pressure, in my opinion, on the surgeon and the team. So I don't see them going away. What I would say, and this is so if you want a prediction, here's a prediction, is we see consolidation happening in our industry. So, look, I mean, Oracle bought Cerner for $28 billion. I mean, that's a really big one. But, Medtronic bought Mazor, J&J bought Oris. It's hard to survive by yourself as a capital equipment company, right? Because hospitals are getting acquired and they're consolidating. So a lot of these deals are essentially, they got bundles, right? What I think would happen is that 10, 15, 20 years ago, when you had a lot more independent medical device companies, you might have 3 or 4 different reps in the room. Like one's got the implants, the other one's, let's say, navigation robotics, a third one's got blah, blah, blah. Now, when you have the bundling, right, of technologies, I think you have the bundling of reps as well. And so if a company, let's look at Globus. Okay, so Globus was supposedly wanting to acquire NuVasive this year. That didn't happen. I think it's going to, though. Maybe not an acquisition. It might be a merger. Same thing, by the way. But let's look at Medtronic. Medtronic has the Mazor X, right? I don't know if they actually do this as a model, but I would imagine that instead of having multiple reps, you have one rep who knows everything that needs to be known about the robot and navigation part of the procedure. They know everything that needs to be known about the implants that are going in. They know everything that's needed to know about, whatever other technology that's needed, right? Which, by the way, think about that from a company standpoint. If I was a Medtronic or J&J, I would go to that model because guess what? Instead of having 3 or 4 reps selling a bunch of different things, right? You can have one rep who's like in the OR doing the clinical support. You can hire like sales development reps, which is a thing from SaaS. That's like low salary positions who just do the calling on of doctors. that person who's in the OR, who's a clinical specialist and expert, that's the person that's going to be most important. Hey, tone it down. I'm on a live stream. My wife just came in the house and she's making a lot of noise. I'm probably not going to eat tonight because she's going to get mad at me. Let me close the door real quick. Okay, so think of it from a company standpoint. If you consolidate reps, so instead of, again, 3 different reps, let's say you're Medtronic, you acquire a robot, etc. You need 1 rep to own that procedure, which means that person is probably going to be a pretty highly paid person, right? Because they're going to know about the robotic side. So to get that kind of person, that's a very hard position to recruit for. Think about that. To get somebody who is smart enough and intelligent enough to understand the clinical procedure, to know the pathologies, to know the technology, and know how all these things connect and weave together, and then guide a surgical team on that. That is a very, very hard person to find. They exist though, but that person's also going to be highly compensated. So again, right? If we go towards that, think about it from a sales rep standpoint. What are sales reps doing today to prepare themselves to try and compete for roles like that? Which means you need to be a learning machine. You need to be keeping up. You need to be reading books, journals, etc. Every sales rep I talk to, I ask them, I'm like, how much did you spend last year yourself on your education and training? Did you pay to go to a conference or a digital conference? Did you pay to take a course? Did you buy a freaking book? 0. That's what I usually hear. That's the big concern. Morgan, great question. Great question. What other questions we got? Let's see. Alan Weinberg, good people. Alan, thanks for joining. Need those hands held, says Tracy. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, they do. Yeah, Tracy's got a bring point. Think of all the bodies in the OR prior to 2020. Now they limit to stuff they don't have on the shelf or the reps they need true support from. Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely correct. Tracy Wadenberg. I'm sorry, I didn't see your question. The question is, are you on IG/Instagram? I am. I'd love a follow. So you can follow the State of MedTech. You can also follow me. I have a public profile on IG. You just have to look up Omar M. Khatib. Let me make a banner for that. Whoops. Here we go. On Instagram. So here we go. I'm going to create these banners in the future so they're all there. So yeah, on Instagram, Omar M. Khatib. I put up a lot. My personal page is fun because I put up a lot of fun content. I like to try and share content that's educational, motivational, and entertaining. Entertaining part is really good. Let me tell you, my memes, like gold. But the State of MedTech has also got an Instagram page. I'm putting a lot of really interesting content on there, like when acquisitions happen, etc. You can go on there and see. I did a live stream on Instagram about the Globus and NuVasive merger or supposed rumored merger. Sorry. Let's see. I purchased a whole GI series. Darren, can you be more specific? What do you mean by GI series? Like as in gastrointestinal series, or what does GI stand for? So anyways, one last time, let me see if I have it. Again, for those of you who are salespeople, again, I love that you guys joined. Thank you so much. And again, it's a Friday and you're on here, you're learning, you're definitely being entertained. But let me drop one more time, the State of MedTech Live. This is a weekly show that I'm going to do. Not this. This is not the live. I mean, this is a live stream. But I'm doing a sales call live every week, cover topics, town hall, people can talk. I'm also inviting surgeons on. So this week I had Dr. Corey Callandine, who's an orthopedic surgeon. Last week was Dr. Qasim Butt. So I'm inviting physicians on because physicians want to engage, but they also, I'm using them to provide insight to say, hey, this is what I just said. Dr. So-and-so, can you validate? Is this true? So that way you can hear directly from them. You guys don't have to guess. Okay. So sign up here. So I'm dropping in the chat. So that's the link. If you click that, that takes you to the LinkedIn page and just RSVP, and then I'll send you the calendar invite. Darren, oh, it's a hemodynamics. Okay, got it. Got it. GIs and gastrointestinal. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Good. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. We are past the hour. I need to go. Last one. Any other comments? God, I need to not do that. That's how I keep staying. That's how I ended up on this thing for like an hour and a half the other day at the end of my day. But I do love it. I do love it because it's direct engagement with the market. I get to interact with you guys. Plus, and again, this is not a secret, but just full disclosure, like, yeah, I have a business now that I'm consulting a lot of med device companies on marketing, right? And I got a sales course. So this is also important for me to promote that course, learn directly from my market, learn directly from my customer, right? Just because I was a salesperson doesn't mean that I still know like your pain points. So part of this, I do this because I don't want to make any assumptions. I want to hear directly from you. I want to help as much as I can. And again, my hope is that if I do a good job with the free stuff, then some of you will say, you know what, I'm part of that like 1% of med reps who are going to like just crush it this year. And then you join my course. By the way, that course that I'm doing at the end of this month, I got a personal guarantee on that. Full refund if you don't like it. You can go through it and you can just say, hey, not for me, full refund. So Darren says he's coming on live in March. Coming on live on the show? That's bold. I didn't know you were coming on live in March. I mean, I like that. I can't guarantee that. Awesome. All right, everybody. I got to get going. Thank you so much for your attention. Hope you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, that's the State of MedTech. A lot of good stuff there. Take care. Be safe. Don't worry about the news with Pfizer, but I would worry. Take some action. You can't do what you did last year. You got to change. You got to change. Kaja, Dr. Kaja, thank you. I know you were late today. I'm getting off, man, because I've been on for a full hour. I got to go work out. But I will be doing more of these, okay? Hope you all are well. Stay safe out there. And, always remember, again, with all that's if I want to close this off in a positive light, take action today. Forget about, if you enroll in my course, great. Go to my free events, learn some stuff like that. Take these ideas, put them into action. Try. Just try engaging with physicians online, and just remember, like, if there's hope in the future, there's power in the present. The only way you're going to get hope in the future is if you take the present and take action on it. Power in the present. With that, I'm going to sign off. Thank you again. Have a great weekend, everybody. I love you guys. I really do. All right. See ya.